What up YouTube, this is AZ3KGT coming back at you, and I got good news. Today's the last day the GTO will be down. I've done a lot of work off camera, sorry I haven't recorded it, but I was really trying to get things done. And I had, you remember I told you I was waiting on the manual steering rack to come in. Well, that motherfucker never came in. They took my money and ran. $734 down the drain. I'm gonna try to get it back through the bank by basically declaring them a fraudulent company at the point. But yeah, they when they were saying, "Oh, it's just about ready to ship. It's just about ready to ship. It only needs pushing." And then like a week later, like, "Oh, it only needs this, and it only needs that," and then they start replying to my emails altogether. So yeah, it looks like they just cut and run. So, I mean, I understand supply chain issues, but if you're going to tell me if it needs bushings one day, and then it's, oh, I have a new guy I need to train the next day, and then, oh, it needs something else, I can't remember what it was. It was like a seal or something like that. And I'm like, bro, you're just basically rebuilding a Gen 1 DSM rack. So what I did was, when I determined that they were essentially pulling my leg and were not actually working on said product, because I said, Pixar didn't happen, and then they stopped replying to my emails. Yeah, can you show me pictures of the rack that you're supposedly building? Radio silence. They just fucking dipped and run. So yeah, they were lying to me the whole time. So what I did was I took the old rack out, dropped it out, which was a job. But anyway, I was going to drop it out anyway. Took it and rebuilt it as a manual steering rack. Opened it up, took it all the way down, pulled the rack out, everything. Chopped off the piston that goes in the middle. It goes, sits on the rack, still around it, and it's what the hydraulic fluid pushes on to send the car left or right, send the rack left or right. So I chopped it off with a cut-off disc, took it off. It's actually quite a job getting the thing off. Rebuilt the rack, put new seals in it, plugged off all the lines, took all the lines off, plugged them off with some little plugs. Little MPT fittings, 1/4 inch MPT fittings fit in those plugs. If you guys ever want to do it, let me go ahead and give you a couple of, like, save you a little bit of time looking for this shit. 1/4 inch MPT fittings. Except one, then I think you need a 3/8. It's like 3/8 or 5/16, something like that. Because the 3/8 works, but it doesn't want to screw in all the way, but it worked. Whatever. But the rest of them were 1/4 inch. There's only one fitting that's slightly bigger than the rest. So I put that thing in, got the car buttoned up. The only two things left to do. I have 3 things. Put the transmission fluid in, got a service transmission, put the wheels on, and throw the battery in. It's ready to go. And let me go ahead and show you, I guess. Well, I don't know what it's going to do. I know the car runs, but I don't know how it's going to act. I know it's going to need to be tuned, but I want to at least drive it. We'll test drive a little lap around here. But today should be the last day the car should be down. So, yeah, I'll take you outside. Thank you. Alright, let's see this. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here, I got this right here pinned, or go jack with it. CV joints are in. New power steering rack is in. A little dirty up here, but hey, I'm gonna wash it off whenever I get done. Got the new steering racks in. Still needs a battery, and everything else is bolted in. Yeah. There you go. You can see the steering rack is in. On this side as well too. This is pinned. She's ready to go, bro. So we just need to get the wheels back on. She's dirty. I'm at least, you know, like, I'm actually more excited to get her cleaned up finally after been sitting there for 8 months in a neglected state. But that's it. Today's the last day. So as you guys can see, the steering rack's in. The car is basically 100% ready to go. Just needs to be serviced, batteries, and tires. They'll put the wheels back on. The wheels are in the backyard under a tarp. For the 2 front wheels, I know, bad. But I have nowhere to put it. This room is already small enough. And I'm kind of glad to be almost done with it and get able to clean this place up again. But the next part of this video is going to be actually trying to drive it. I'm nervous. Don't know what it's going to do. But it should run. It should be okay, but you know how it is. I mean, we already established the engine runs, and it runs pretty good. But you start putting the load on the engine, things might go awry. But so we'll do the little lap around the drive, and then if I get, I'm like, I have a feeling it's gonna do the huckabuck on me when the engine's like, oh, when the CC's like, holy shit, what have you done? And I did that before when I put headers on and a bunch of other stuff. The ECU didn't like it, so it's gonna need to be tuned just to be able to smooth it out. I mean, over the time it's cleared up, but I don't exactly think the ECU can account for everything that's been done. Either way. Oh yeah, so I have some other things I want to talk about, but right now it's like, yeah, fuck it, you guys don't need to know about that. So it's ready to drive, other than just I'm going to try to go get the fluid while I'm at work, drop by the AutoZone, because we have an AutoZone right next to where we go to fill up cars to deliver them, and I'll go buy the transmission fluid. I already got one bottle of transmission fluid. I scavenged from the 3 bottles that were partially full, and I made a full bottle of it. So I needed 2 more bottles of the transmission fluid, some Lucas 7590 weight. I've always put Lucas exclusively in my cars. Even the manual rack was filled with Lucas Red and Tacky grease. Cars run on Lucas engine oil, and then actually no, not Lucas. No. Whenever it comes off the brake-in oil, I'll put Lucas in it. That's what it was in it before. And then Lucas transmission fluid's going in. I love that stuff. It works really good. Yeah, and you can pick it up relatively. 7590 weight from AutoZone, and stuff works really good. So so on to the next part of the video. Hopefully it'll come out and drive smoothly. At least a little lap around the neighborhood. Probably wake up the dad, but it's gonna be fun. Let's see this. Let's get that footage. Okay, confession. I'll say, go let you guys know the little funny mistake I made with the steering rack. Wasn't a game breaker, but when I first went to go put the steering rack in, I centered it on the table here, right here. It's kind of cluttered up right now, but I used measuring tape to measure it out both sides, make sure it's even. But when I go to put the steering rack in, I had to decenter it to be able to get it over the subframe so I can install it, and that thing was a pain in the ass. Trying to hold that steering rack up, I used a jack to try to help, but it wasn't perfect. So because the jack, I had to use like a couple of bricks to be able to give it enough reach to even help at all. So, and I'm sitting there trying to hold this rack up and pin it in and stuff like that. So how I wanted measuring the center of the rack was to essentially leave it disconnected, run it all the way to one end, all the way to the other end, and then take, so it has 2.5 turns, 16:1 steering ratio. It was the original rack, and then turn the steering wheel 1 3/4 turn back. 2.5, 1 3/4 should be fine. So and it was great too that whenever I had all the spindles as good eyeball level as I could, straight, and tie rod ends pulled right in. Problem is, when I put the steering rack in, I didn't realize the steering wheel was locked to the left, so the steering wheel wasn't straight when I go to put it in. So the steering wheel is way off now. So, but it's an aftermarket steering wheel. It would be a little bit more of a game ender if it was OEM, had the OEM steering wheel, and you couldn't just unbolt the steering wheel and turn it back straight. It'd be more of a game ender. That right there, like, oh shit. But it's just an aftermarket steering wheel. I mean, it runs both sides. I've checked it out. It's good. I just need to basically remove the steering wheel. And, it gives me an excuse too, because I really need to put the quick disconnect back in. This little guy right here, I had it in there for a while. Little Sparco quick disconnect. But at the time, I didn't need it. And it made the wheel a little floppy, like just a little bit of jiggle. And I was like, yeah, I don't need it right now, but now I need it. Now I need it because it's really difficult to get in between the steering wheel and the seat, because race seat, it's got way higher side bolster on it, so there's like only a couple inches between the seat and the steering wheel, and it's really hard for me to get in there. So quick disconnect actually makes sense now, because now I actually have a genuine need for it. So I'm going to remove the steering wheel anyway, put the quick disconnect back in, and put the steering wheel back on straight once I make sure that the actual spindles are straight. It should be. I didn't really move it once I centered it. I just bolted them in there. I didn't actually have to do a lot of adjusting on the tie rod ends. It probably was like maybe that much from being completely lined up without having to move anything. So I just kind of loosened them up, threaded them out just a little bit, and they worked. And then I tightened up the knot. So is it going to be perfect alignment? Absolutely not. But it should be good enough to take it to a place to get it aligned. Once I confirm that the cooling system is working on it, which I soldered the radiator line, the electrical radiator lines, but you know how it is. You don't know until it works. So part of what the test drive is to confirm that everything around the engine is working too. You know, make sure it holds a steady temperature. Make sure that the fans work. I mean, I know that the oil cooler works because at one point in time it was leaking. So I just took my little wrench and I just tightened them up a little bit. Now they don't leak. Okay. But it's basically just confirming everything works. Once everything is confirmed to be working, I'm gonna go take the car to go to get aligned, and then it's basically gonna come back home. I might drive it around for the 100 miles to break it in, and then car's gonna go to the dyno to get tuned. I mean, I'm hoping that the car will run smooth enough that I can take it, that I can drive it around like to work or something like that. I'm just keep it below 4,000 RPM, just normal driving with it, no variable load, below 4,000 RPMs. And once I break 100 miles, which should be 4 days, it takes about 20 to 25 miles to get to work and get back and forth to work, then we can go take it to dyno. So, with that being said, on to the next part of the video. What's up, YouTube? Just to let you know, I know it's been a minute since I posted a video because I've been working my ass off trying to get this thing done. And it's done. The car's up and driving. I drove it to work Tuesday, which is why I didn't go ahead and post a video of it. The reason why was because when I came back home, thermostat started leaking. So I had to go back and swap all the gaskets out on the thermostat housing. Because the minute you pull off the thermostat housing, had the gaskets tore because I didn't have the OEM Mitsubishi gaskets in there, which now I do. I have the OEM Mitsubishi gaskets in there. And she runs fine. I had a vacuum leak that started making my AFRs run really, really freaking lean, so I went and fixed that. I had a valve cover gasket that was leaking. Swapped all the valve cover gasket out. Put brand new plugs and spark plug wires in it. And to get it ready to go to the tuner, they said they recommend you have a fresh set of plugs to go in it. So I put some NGK Iridium plugs and a new set of NGK spark plug wires. Yeah, they're more like OEM replacements, but they should be good enough for getting the tune on. So as you can see, it's behind me. So there she goes. She's 100% back together. I'll probably do a drive video of this soon, but I'm still ironing out some of the issues of it. Put some new stickers on it because, hey, it's now built. It really is a built, not bought car. And had a little bit of fun out of that. Warning car may explode. Built the shit myself. Guess what? Did build it myself. So yeah, quick video today. I'll probably try to do some more POV film footage once I know for a fact that the car all the leaks are sealed and it should be good to go. In other words, it should be good enough to put back on the put on the dyno. It's been really hot and I'm tired because I've been on this thing all day and it's like 117 degrees out here. So yeah, if I look tired, it's because I am. But yeah, I got it all squared away, so she's ready to be driven again for another test drive and see how she does. Hopefully there won't be any leaks. That's what happened. Chance got it all together and thought it was going to be squared away. Went to drive it, started leaking again, like shit. So had to go through and fix a bunch of stuff. So hopefully it's all squared away. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please leave a like and subscribe. I know it's a quick video today, probably not as much the kind of stuff you guys want, but it's what I got right now. And peace out. I do have another project to do on the car. I got the roll cage that's got to be put back in there. It's a Rhodes 8-point roll cage. I'll show you that here in a second. But, it's going to take time. I got to go buy some dries and bust up all the sound deadener on the floor and then weld it in. It shouldn't be too hard to weld in. I got a welder. But it should look like a relatively simple cage to put in. So just want to show you. There it is. There goes your main hoop. Those right there are going to be your rear braces, and then you have your two middle ones. There's your harness bar, and then you have your two door bars right here. There's your harness bar, door bars, center that goes to the tunnel, your two back braces, and there goes your main hoop. So yeah, while the car is still not technically done, it's about as done as I can get it for right now. It runs and drives. Still needs to go to the tuner, but it is what it is. I'm getting done with it. It's pretty much a done project car at the moment. Some minor things that got to be finished up on it and the roll cage, but it's pretty much ready to go. I mean, it's in a drivable condition right now. So, peace out.